We have a special lecture by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada now on the occasion of Diksha ceremony.
Following is a lecture delivered by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada. Recorded on the 10th of December 1976 at Hyderabad.
Shri Gurum Vaishnava by future master. Practically, I met him in 1922, and this poetry was written in 1936. That means 14 years before writing this poetry, I met my Guru Maharaj in 1922. At that time, I was quite a young man, 25 years old only, and I was posted in a very responsible position as the office manager of Dr. Bose's laboratory, and I was fond of, in those days, of Gandhi's movement. In 1922, I joined Gandhi's movement and I gave up my educational career because one of the Gandhi's program was to boycott the university. That's a very long story, and many students gave up their education and career and joined the Gandhi's movement, and I was one of them. So, Dr. Bose, Kartik Chandra Bose, is a very important man at that time. He was managing director of Bengal Chemical Company. Now there is a street in the central Calcutta, Dr. Kartik Bose Street. So he was a very important man, and he was our family physician and my father's very intimate friend. So, when I gave up my education and I was joining Gandhi movement, at that time, Dr. Kartik Chandra Bose asked me to join him. So, with the permission of my father, I joined. So I was fond of, at that time, this Gandhi non-cooperation movement, and then when I joined Dr. Bose's laboratory, first I was dressed in khabdar. The Dr. Bose liked that dress, khabdar dress. He told me one day that out of your whole Gandhi's movement, I like this khabdar only. Dr. Bose said. And why? Because this will give impetus to industry. This hand spinning will gradually give impetus to India. Actually, that happened. He was himself an industrialist. Actually, in India, chemical industry was given birth by Dr. Kartik Chandra. It was very important man. He started with Bengal chemical. So 1922, I met my Guru Maharaj through the exigency of my intimate friend, Mr. Narendranath Malli. And I would not go. He told me information, there is a nice sadhu, let us go and see. I did not like very much these sadhus in those days, national spirit. So I said, I have seen many sadhus. They come at my father's care. I was not very much pleased with their behavior. So he dragged me forcibly. No, I have heard this person is very exalted. So I went, and his first opening version was that you are educated young man, why don't you preach Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's gospel in the Western country? I did not know. So this was his blessing in the first meeting. I did not know, but because we belong to a Vaishnava family, we were very much worshippers of Lord Chaitanya, Nityananda, our family deity. So I was very much pleased that here is a personality who is going to preach Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's gospel. I was very much pleased. So anyway, from 1922 to 1933, practically I was not initiated, but I got the impression of preaching Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's cult. That I was thinking. And that was the initiation by my Guru Maharaj. Then officially I was initiated in 1933 because in 1923 I left Calcutta. I started my business at Allahabad. So I was always thinking of my Guru Maharaj that I met a very nice sadhu. And although I was doing business, I never forgot it. Then in 1928, these Gauri Math people came to Allahabad during Kumbh Mela. As the Kumbh Mela is going to be held this year, a similar big Kumbh Mela was held in 1928. In those days, they came to open their branch in Allahabad, and somebody recommended that you go to, at that time I was running on my big pharmacy. I was very well-known man in Allahabad as the proprietor of the pharmacy. So somebody recommended them that you go to Avaibhav. He is a very religious man. He will help you. So when they entered my shop, I was very much pleased that this man I met in 1922, and now they have come in this way. We become reconnected. And in 1933, I was officially initiated. And my only qualification was when I was introduced to my Guru Maharaj for initiation, Guru Maharaj immediately said, yes, I can initiate this boy. He is very nice. He hears me very patiently. He does not go away. So That was my qualification. The high standard of philosophy which was speaking at that time, practically I could not follow what he was speaking, but still I like to hear. That was my hobby. Whenever I was asking when Guru Maharaj will speak, so he took it very seriously. Then in 1936, it's a long history.
We have a bhajan composed by Srila Prabhupada now. It will be followed by reading on the events connected of Srila Prabhupada's initiation. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Jai Jai Gurudev Prabhupada, Gurudev Jai Srila Prabhupada, Jai Gurudev Prabhupada, Gurudev Prabhupada. Jive Radha Radha Dukhi Srila 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 Prabhupada. Viraha vasare tava heriya vasada. 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 Mahavadanyāvatara Shri Krishna Chaitanya. Mahavadanyāvatara Shri Krishna Chaitanya. Krishna Nama Prema Diya Vishwa Kaila Dhanya. Krishna Nama Prema Diya Vishwa Kaila Dhanya. Apani Seita Prabhu Murta Gauravani. 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 पृथिवीर सर्वगमे सेनामदानि
पृथ्वीर सर्वग्रामे सेनामदानि
पृथिवीर सर्वग्रामे सेनामदानि
पृथ्वीर सर्वग्रामे सेनामदानि
हटाइला निज भक्ते सुदूरा पश्चाते
माखाइला निज भक्ते सुदूर पाश्चात्ये
पाठाइला निज भक्ते सुदूरा पाश्चात्ये
माखाइला निज भक्ते सुदूर पाश्चात्ये
भारत भ्रमिले निजे आर दाक्षिणात्ये
भ्रमिले निजे आर दाक्षिणात्ये
भारत भ्रमिले निजे आर दाक्षिणात्ये
भारत भ्रमिले निजे आर दाक्षिणात्ये
शुद्ध गौर गाथायते विज्ञजन भुजे
गौर गाथायते विज्ञजन भुजे
शुद्ध गौर गाथायते विज्ञजन भुजे
शुद्ध गौर गाथायते विघ्नजन भुजे
कथ चिंतकर प्रभु विरोधी के योजे
कत चिंता कर प्रभु विरोधी के योजे
कथा चिंता कर प्रभु विरोधी के योजे
कत चिंता कर प्रभु विरोधी के योजे
जीवन स्तरित गौर करे चातुरे
सारिते गौर करे चातुरे
जीवन स्तरित गौर करे चातुरे
जीवन स्तरित गौर करे चातुरे
अपने बुझिले से सब बारी भूरी
अपनी बुझिले से सब भारी भूरी
अपनी बुझिले से सब बारी भूरी
अपनी बुझिले से सब भारी भूरी
देश काल पात्र जानी प्रचार प्रबंध
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 देखिया ओ नाही देखे उलुका दी अंधा
ओ नाही देखे उलुका दी अंध देखिया वो नहीं देखे उलो का दिया अंधा देखिया ओ नहीं देखे उलो का दिया अंधा औलिया साजिया के बुझी देता औलिया सहजिया के बुझी देता घडली कन्हैया का बुझी पारे काना घडली कन्हैया का बुझी पारे कान्हा घडली कन्हैया का बुझी पारे गाना घडली कन्हैया का बुझी पारे कान्हा जीवे राधा राधा दुखी श्रीला प्रभुपादा राधा राधा दुखी श्रीला प्रभुपादा वासरे तवा रियावसादा वासरे तव रियावसादा जीवे रदा रदा दुखी श्रीला प्रभुपादा जीवे रदा रदा दुखी श्रीला प्रभुपादा हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 रामा राम राम हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे जय जय गुरुदेव प्रभुपाद गुरुदेव जय श्रील प्रभुपाद जय गुरुदेव प्रभुपाद गुरुदेव निताय गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल निताय गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिविजाकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर शत श्रीमद् डिवाइन ग्रेस एसी भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी शिला प्रभुपाद की श्रीमती तुलसी महारानी की शिला प्रभुपाद दीक्षा दिवस की निताय गौर प्रेमानंद। Hare Krishna. So today on the occasion of Srila Prabhupada's Diksha Divas, we will be reading from Srila Prabhupada's lectures and conversations, and also from the recollections of the devotees, what they heard from Srila Prabhupada about how Srila Prabhupada received the Diksha from Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, the events that led to Srila Prabhupada becoming an initiated disciple of His Divine Grace Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. So this is the first meeting of Srila Prabhupada with Bhaktisiddhanta in the year 1922, as we heard from Srila Prabhupada also a short while ago. Following is an excerpt from the lecture given by Srila Prabhupada on occasion of the disappearance day of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur in the year 1973, December 13th at Los Angeles. Srila Prabhupada is saying, so when I met Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, it's a long story how I met him. One of my friends, he dragged me. I was at that time nationalist and manager in a big chemical factory. My age was about 24 years. So one of my friends, he asked me that there is a nice sadhu, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. He has come in Calcutta. So let us go and see him. So I was reluctant. I thought, just like there are so many sadhus. So I was not very much, but because I had a very bad experience, not very good experience. So I said, oh, these kind of sadhus, there are many. So I didn't want to meet him. Then Prabhupada mentions in the lecture, you will be glad to know that even in my young age or early age, it was Krishna's grace, even amongst my young friend, I was considered the leader. In my school days, in my college days, in my private friendship, some way or other, I became their leader. And one astrologer, he read my hand and he said in Hindi, Hukum chalega. Hukum chalega means your hand speaks that your order will be executed. Hukum chalega. Devotees, Jai. Prabhupada. So anyway, it was Krishna's grace. I would not go, but their point of view was that unless I certify that sadhu, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he will not be accepted. Therefore, my friend dragged me. So I went to see Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur on that day. On the first meeting, just as we were offering obeisances, it is a practice, so immediately he began his talking that you're all educated young men. Why don't you take up Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's cult and preach all over the English knowing public? Why don't you take up this matter? So I argued with him in different ways. At that time, I was a nationalist. So I told that who will accept your message? We are dependent nation. Nobody will care. In this way, in my own way, in the younger days, because we belong to the Vaishnava family. But we belong to the Vaishnava family. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Nityananda, Radha Govinda, they are our worshipable deities. So I was very glad that this Radha Krishna cult, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's cult, this sadhu is trying to preach. It was very nice. So at that time we had some talks. And of course, I was defeated by his argument, my argument. And then we came out and we were offered prasadam, very nice treatment, the Gaudiya Math. And when I came out on the street, this friend asked me, so what is your opinion of the sadhu? And then I said, here is the right person who has taken up Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's message and now it will be distributed. Devotees, Jai. Prabhupada. So at that time, I was a fool, but I opinioned like this and I accepted him as my spiritual master immediately, not officially, but in my heart. That was in 1922. So that was the first meeting, and Prabhupada writes that he became his disciple, he accepted him in his heart. and that was his real initiation. Now, Abhay's second meeting with Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur in Vrindavan. The following is an excerpt from Srila Prabhupada Leelamrita. In October of 1932, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati led a group of hundreds of disciples and pilgrims on a month-long parikrama or circumambulation of the sacred places of Vrindavan. Vrindavan residents and visitors perform parikrama by following the old dry bed of the Yamuna river and circumambulating the Vrindavan area, stopping at the places where Krishna performed his pastimes when he roamed in Vrindavan 5,000 years ago. Abhay had wanted to attend Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur's parikrama, but couldn't because of his work. Nevertheless, on the 20th day of the parikrama, he travelled from Allahabad intent on seeing Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur again and hoping to join the parikrama party at Kosi just outside Vrindavan at least for a day. When Abhay had heard from the members of the Allahabad Gaudiya Math about the parikrama, he had been fully occupied with his local Prayag pharmacy business and travelling to secure new accounts. But he had calculated how he could join at least for a day or two, and he had fixed his mind on again obtaining the darshan of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati. Srila Prabhupada says, I was not initiated at the time of parikrama, but I had a very good admiration for these Gaudiya Math people. They were very kind to me. So I thought, what are these people doing in the parikrama? Let me go. So I met them at Kosi near Vrindavan. So I met them in Kosi, and Keshav Maharaj was informing that Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur is going to Mathura tomorrow morning and he'll speak Hari Katha this evening. Anyone who wants to may remain and hear him, or otherwise they may go to see Seshashai Vishnu, or in other words, others may go for parikrama, and those who want, they may stay here and hear him. So at that time, I think only 10 or 12 men remained. Sridhar Maharaj was one of them. And I thought it wise that what can I see in these pilgrimage place? Let me hear what Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati will speak. Let me hear. When Abhay arrived, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati was already speaking. He sat with his back erect, a shawl around his shoulders, not speaking like a professional lecturer giving a scheduled performance, but addressing a small gathering in his room. At last, Abhay was in his presence again. Abhay marveled to see and hear him. This unique soul, possessed of Krishna Katha, speaking uninterruptedly about Krishna in his deep, low voice, in ecstasy and deep knowledge. Abhay sat and heard with rapt attention. An hour went by, 2 hours. The already small gathering in Srila Bhaktisiddhanta's room gradually thinned. A few sannyasis left, excusing themselves to tend to duties connected with the parikrama camp. Only a few intimate leaders remained. Abhay was the only outsider. Of course, he was a devotee, not an outsider, but in the sense that he was not a sannyasi, was not handling any duties, was not in the parikrama, was not even initiated. and was not traveling with the parikrama, but had joined only for a day but had joined only for a day. In that sense, he was an outsider. The philosophy Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati was speaking was, however, democratically open to whosoever would give an ardent hearing. And that ardent hearing Abhay was doing. He was listening with wonder. Sometimes he would not even understand something, but he would go on listening intently, submissively, his intelligence drinking in the words. He felt Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur revealing to him the direct vision of the spiritual world, just as a person reveals something by opening a door or pushing aside a curtain. He was revealing the reality, and this reality was loving service to the lotus feet of Radha and Krishna, the supremely worshipable personality of Godhead. How masterfully he spoke, and with utter conviction and boldness. It was with such awe and reverence that Abhay listened with fastened attention. Of course, all Vaishnavas accepted Krishna as their worshipable Lord, but how conclusively and with what sound logic was the faith of the Vaishnavas established by this great teacher? After several hours, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati stopped speaking. Abhay felt prepared to go on listening without cessation. And yet he had no puzzling doubts or queries to place forward. He wanted only to hear more. As Srila Bhaktisiddhanta made his exit, Abhay bowed, offering his obeisances, and then left the intimate circle of sannyasis in the row of tents and went to the outer circle of the tents, his mind surcharged with the words of his spiritual master. So that was the second meeting. First meeting was in Calcutta in 1922, second meeting near Vrindavan, and now is the third meeting 11 years later in the year 1933. Again, from Srila Prabhupada's Lilamrita by Satsarup Das. Abhay had only recently returned from Vrindavan to his work at Prayag Pharmacy again, when the devotees at the Allahabad Gaudiya Math informed him of the good news that they had secured lands and funds for constructing a building. The Sri Rupa Gaudiya Math and Srila Bhaktisiddhanta would be coming on November 21st to preside over the ceremony for laying of the cornerstone. Sir William Malcolm Haley, Governor of the United Provinces, would be the respected guest and in a grand ceremony would lay the foundation stone in the presence of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta. When Abhay learned that there would also be an initiation ceremony, he asked if he could be initiated. Atulananda, the Gaudiya Math's president, assured Abhay that he would introduce him to Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Back at home, Abhay discussed his initiation plans with his wife. She had no objection, but she did not want to take initiation herself. They were already worshipping the deity at home and offering their food to the deity. They believed in God and were living peacefully. But for Abhay, that was not enough. Although he would not force his wife, he knew that he must be initiated by a pure devotee. Avoiding sinful life, living piously, these were necessary and good, but in themselves they did not constitute spiritual life and could not satisfy the yearnings of the soul. Life's ultimate goal and the absolute necessity of the self was love of Krishna. That love of Krishna his father had already inculcated within him, and now he had to take the next step. His father would have been pleased to see him do it. That is getting initiated. By taking initiation from Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur, Saraswati Thakur, he would be linked with Krishna. Bhaktisiddhanta, son of Bhaktivinoda Thakur and disciple of Gaur Kishore Das Babaji, was the guru in the 12th disciplic succession from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He was the foremost Vedic scholar of the age, the expert Vaishnava who could guide one back to Godhead. He was empowered by his predecessors to work for the highest welfare by giving everyone Krishna consciousness, the remedy of all sufferings. Abhay felt that he had already accepted Srila Bhaktisiddhanta as his spiritual master, and that from the very first meeting he had already received his orders. Now, if Srila Bhaktisiddhanta would accept him as his disciple, the relationship would be confirmed. Bhaktisiddhanta was coming so soon after Abhay had seen and heard him in Vrindavan, which was recent. That was how Krishna acted through his representative. It was as if his spiritual master, in coming to where Abhay had his family and business, he was coming to draw him further into spiritual life. Without Abhay's having attempted to bring it about, his relationship with Bhaktisiddhanta was deepening. Now Srila Bhaktisiddhanta was coming to him as if by a higher arrangement. On the day of the ceremony, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur met with his disciples at the Allahabad Gaudiya Math on South Malacca Street. While he was speaking Harikatha and taking questions, Atulananda Brahmachari took the opportunity to present several devotees, Abhay amongst them as a candidate for initiation. The Allahabad devotees were proud of Mr. De, Abhay Charan De, who regularly attended the matha in the evening and led bhajans, listened to the teachings and spoke them himself, and often brought respectable guests. He had contributed money and had induced his business colleagues also to do so. With folded palms, Abhay looked up humbly at his spiritual master. He and Srila Bhaktisiddhanta were now face to face, and Srila Bhaktisiddhanta recognized him and was visibly pleased to see him. He already knew him. Yes, he said, exchanging looks with Abhay. He likes to hear. He does not go away. I have marked him. I will accept him as my disciple. Srila Prabhupada ki. As the moment and the words became impressed into his being, Abhay was in ecstasy. Atulananda was pleasantly surprised that his Guru Deva was already in approval of Abhay. Other disciples in the room were also pleased to witness Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur's immediate acceptance of Abhay as a good listener. Some of them wondered when or where Srila Bhaktisiddhanta had arrived at such an estimation of this young pharmacist? At the initiation, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati was seated on a Vyasasana, and the room was filled with guests and members of the Gaudiya Math. Those to be initiated sat around a small mound of earth, where one of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur's sannyasis prepared a fire and offered grains and fruits into the flames. A yagna is going on, while everyone chanted mantras for purification. Abhay's sister and brother were present, but not his wife. Abhay basked in the presence of his Gurudeva. Yes, he likes to hear the words of his spiritual master, and his glance of recognition had remained within Abhay. Abhay would continue pleasing his spiritual master by hearing well. Then Abhay thought, I will be able to speak well. The Vedic literature described 9 processes of devotional service, and the first was Shravanam, hearing about Krishna. Then came Kirtanam, chanting about and glorifying Him. By sitting patiently and hearing at Kosi, Vrindavan, he had pleased Krishna's representative. And when Krishna's representative was pleased, Krishna was pleased. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur had not praised Abhay for donating money to the matha and hadn't advised him to forsake his family and business and travel with him, nor had he asked Abhay to perform great austerities like the yogis who mortify their bodies with fastings and difficult vows. But he likes to hear. He had said, I have marked him. Abhay thought about it and again listened carefully as the spiritual master conducted the initiation. Finally, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta called for Abhay to come forward and receive the Harinam initiation by accepting his beads. After offering prostrated obeisances, Abhay extended his right hand and accepted the strand of japa beads from the hand of his spiritual master. At the same time, Abhay also received the second initiation. He received the sacred Brahminical thread. Usually, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta gave the first initiation, Harinam, and only after some time, when he was satisfied with the progress of his disciple, would he give the second initiation. But he offered Abhay both initiations at the same time. Now Abhay was a full-fledged disciple, a Brahmana who could perform sacrifices such as this fire yagna for initiation. He could worship the deity in the temple and would be expected to discourse widely. Srila Prabhupada, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta added Aravinda, lotus, to his name. And now Abhay De became Abhay Charanaravinda. Srila Prabhupada ki. After Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati left Allahabad for Calcutta, Abhay keenly felt the responsibility of working on behalf of his spiritual master. At the initiation, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta had instructed Abhay to study Rupa Goswami's Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, which outlined the loving exchanges between Krishna and his devotees and explained how a devotee can advance in spiritual life. Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu was a law book for devotional service, and Abhay would study it carefully. He was glad to increase his visits to the Allahabad center and to bring new people. Even at his first meeting With his spiritual master, he had received the instructions to preach the mission of Lord Chaitanya, and now he began steadily and carefully considering how to do so. Preaching was a responsibility at least as binding as that of home and business. Even in his home, he wanted to engage as far as possible in preaching. Srila Prabhupada. So anyway, from 1922 to 1933, practically I was not initiated, but I got the impression of preaching Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's cult. That I was thinking, and that was the initiation by my Guru Maharaj. Srila Prabhupada ki, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki, Srila Prabhupada Diksha Diwas ki. So these were some of the things that Srila Prabhupada recollected and his disciples. He met 1922 in Calcutta, second meeting in Vrindavan, and third meeting in Allahabad in a span of 11 years. And he received the initiation. He received both first and second together. Bhaktivedanta was so pleased with him. And the most important thing is that Bhaktivedanta said he likes to hear, he does not go away. Bhaktivedanta was speaking for 2 hours, and beyond that it continued for several hours, that is written here, and Prabhupada was hearing. And that pleased his spiritual master very much. So we'll close here. Srila Prabhupada ki, Nitai Gaur Premanand.